Ukraine says Russian forces launched 70 missiles on Wednesday. 51 of them were intercepted, but those that did strike knocked out power and water service across Ukraine and killed at least 7 people. Several regions say their power has now been largely restored. Russian strikes also slammed into a hospital maternity ward, killing a newborn baby. The International Rescue Committee has condemned that attack in the Zaporizhzhia region, saying women and children continue to pay a high price for this war. Following the strikes, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council to support the Ukrainian peace formula, saying there should be no room for terror in the world. And CNN's Matthew Chance is in southern Ukraine with more details now on Russia's latest assault on the country.
The latest target in Russia's ruthless missile barrage. A Ukrainian maternity ward pounded from the skies. Emergency workers pulling a doctor and a young mother from the rubble. But a newborn baby, just 2 days old, couldn't be saved. Tatiana is the grandmother, now in unbearable pain. Her daughter's face and legs were wounded by shrapnel, she says, but it's the loss of that child that's left her daughter emotionally shattered. Another life, another family, now in ruins. Across Ukraine, the roar of Russian missiles is tearing up the skies. Near the capital, Kiev, a residential building was hit. The yard outside turned into a smouldering disaster zone. Officials say casualties are high, with dozens injured or killed, as Russia tries to target energy and water infrastructure across Ukraine, an apparently deliberate attempt to make people here suffer. And another obstacle the Ukrainian leadership is vowing to overcome.
The task has been set. We will restore all of this, and we will get through all of this, because we are an unbreakable people.
But with power outages nationwide, these are fragile times. Shops operating by flashlight, public transport at a virtual standstill, and even hospitals far away from the war zone on emergency supplies. Russia's barrage may not have broken Ukrainians, but it is making them suffer. Matthew Chance, CNN, Odessa.
But lights are now back on in at least some parts of Ukraine following the massive wave of Russian strikes. Officials say electricity has been restored in 90% of the city of Lviv, with heat and water service back up and running, while power supply is also coming back in Odessa and in the Zaporizhzhia region. Meanwhile, a senior World Health Organization official says millions of Ukrainian lives could be in danger this winter. That's because hospitals across the country lack power and fuel, which can prevent them from providing proper care to patients. But some European cities are hoping to alleviate that problem by donating power generators to Ukraine. They will go to key facilities such as schools, hospitals, and water supply stations. At the UN, the US ambassador slammed Moscow over the attacks on Ukraine's power system.
Colleagues, it seems that Putin is determined to reduce Ukraine's energy facilities to rubble. Putin's motive could not be more clear and more cold-blooded. He is clearly weaponizing winter to inflict immense suffering on the Ukrainian people.
CNN's Salma Abdelaziz is following developments for us. She joins us live from London. Good morning to you again, Salma. So Ukraine's President Zelensky is urging the UNSC to basically support a peace formula in the wake of these large-scale missile attacks on infrastructure. What is the latest on this?
Yes, so President Zelensky calling an emergency UN Security Council meeting yesterday, Rosemary, and this came after around 70 missiles were fired by Russia towards Ukraine, an attack so extensive, Rosemary, that neighboring Moldova lost electricity. Now, a majority of those missiles were shot down by Ukraine's air defense systems, but some, of course, hitting their targets. And the result of that was nearly every single Ukrainian electricity consumer lost power yesterday in the capital, Kyiv. That meant they also lost running water. So homes without running water, without running electricity in the cold of the winter. You also have to think about hospitals, clinics, transportation, all of these key bits of infrastructure that struggle to function, of course, under these conditions. I was in Kyiv a couple of weeks ago, and we saw essentially dialysis had to stop when water was cut off to a local hospital there. So President Zelensky calling this emergency council meeting. Take a listen to what he said.
Energy terror is comparable to the use of weapons of mass destruction. When we have the temperature below zero and scores of millions of people without energy supplies, without heating, without water, this is an obvious crime against humanity.
So President Zelensky yet again accusing the Kremlin of terrorism, yet again accusing it of human rights violations, yet again accusing Russia of inflicting civilian suffering intentionally, very far from the front lines. And Ukraine's allies, President Zelensky's friends, including the United States, absolutely agree with this assessment. What they're doing is providing billions of dollars worth of support, Rosemary. And this isn't just in the form of weapons and air defense systems and rockets and bullets. It's actually coming in the form of civilian infrastructure, so generators, transmitters, equipment to fix power grids. I know many European cities are looking at sending all the generators and transmitters they can. They've launched this campaign, Generators for Hope, Generators for Peace. So a real move there to bolster Ukraine's civilian infrastructure ahead of this very tough winter, Rosemary.
Yeah. Salma Abdelaziz joining us live from London. Many thanks.